On today's episode of Movies of the Future, Spider-Man is back in the MCU. Kevin Fiege is the hardest working man in Hollywood. The future is bad. Kim is good. This is your ultimate film obsessed podcast experience, a show that will finally prove that movies are the future. Title sequence.
Movies of the future.
Welcome to episode 9 of Movies of the Future. Is it episode 9?
Yeah.
Right? God.
Yeah.
So we've done 9 mainline episodes, but we've done like 15 episodes in total or something crazy. So we've done a lot now. Topic timestamps will be below if you want to skip to a specific thing. Basically, we'll be going through the new movies that came out, and then the big news, and then the big news that's sort of bigger for us, less important. I don't know how we decided on what constitutes good news versus... Anyways, and then we'll be doing our topic of the month, which we'll talk about in a second, and then we'll be talking about a movie that you need to see, so you can check out all of those in the timestamps below. Check out the audio version if you if you enjoy audio, you want to listen to this later. But first, before we get started, welcome to Mr. Jacob Medlin on the podcast. His inaugural appearance.
Woo!
He's already drinking. He's already.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, man. I'll drink to that, brother.
Thanks for coming on. We've been going to see movies together for about like a year or something.
Yeah,
2
yeah.
years now.
Hottest takes. Hot takes here in the podcast.
So I'm very excited. We've got a mini like sort of Dom Thurlow FTV reunion happening, except for Dragon.
Yeah.
But what Dragon lacks in Dom Thurlowism, he'll make up for by having seen every movie that we haven't. So.
Oh, the segue.
Leveling the playing field.
Really
Speaking of seeing every freaking movie that comes out every month,
Yeah.
it's time for What's Out, folks.
Woo.
Graphics. Is that graphics? Man?
Yeah, just chuck the graphics. So we are going to put some October movies in this episode because we are a little late, but that's okay. You know what? First movie.
Podcast is never late.
No.
Everyone else is mid.
Everyone else is just early. Joker. Brand new movie by Todd Phillips starring Joaquin Phoenix. We have all seen it on this podcast. You know what? I'm going to throw it over to our guest Jacob to let us fill on his thoughts.
I went through a weird thing where I liked it when I first saw it, and then I didn't like it for a bit, and now that I've actually thought about it more, I kind of like it again, if that makes any sense.
I know exactly what you mean.
I think it just really... Because it's obviously it's a pretty confronting movie in a lot of ways.
It's a heavy movie.
And I guess I sort of... was sort of reading into the movie. I was sort of expecting it to say a little bit more. But if you kind of look at it just from like kind of a personal journey of the one character, it works a lot more on that level than if you try and like read any more into it. And I think the movie purposefully doesn't try and have any kind of real larger message. It just tries to focus it in on that. Yeah, no, but I did enjoy it. I actually enjoyed it. And obviously the acting's amazing. Yeah. And they'll probably get at least an Oscar nod for this one, probably. If not an Oscar.
Win. Yeah.
Better hope so.
Better
if he doesn't, it'll be an uproar.
Yeah, I was sort of the same. Like I watched it, I was like, it's good, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it more. I was like, no, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the only things that just like made me so overhyped was just the articles that like people were walking out. This is a dangerous movie, and it's like.
It was the Venice Film Festival though. Didn't they show it there first? And all the critics there were like, the best thing.
Yeah.
I remember Michael Moore, who did the Bowling for Columbine documentaries, actually said this is a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
And in fact, by not going to see it, you are
dangerous,
like you're harming yourself basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, some of the best reviews have been from like Josh Brolin posted a review of the
That's
film
right,
was
yeah.
good, and like Michael Moore obviously, and like just like you're like it's bringing people out of the woodwork, which is cool. We're having less toxic debate. Well, it's the debate around the movie I think has been better than stuff like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's a lot better than I expected, honestly.
No one's really arguing the quality of the movie. I think it was just like the message.
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix isn't getting his inbox blown up with like angry people like.
Yeah, you ruined the canon or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't find it as violent or disturbing
No
as
way.
people were saying. Like Rambo, which we'll get to soon, was
Yeah.
exceptionally more violent.
Yeah.
It wasn't as confronting as I thought it would be, but
It's definitely heavy. Like towards the end, it's like, oh shit, you feel kind of tight, but
it's just the mental illness aspect of it that was really.
I think it's just weird. I think the reason a lot of people talk about it being unsettling is just it's not a movie that because it's a superhero movie, it attracts a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And so normally this is not a movie, the type of movie that everyone will be talking about for like a few weeks after it. But because everyone's gone and seen it because it is a well-known character, you get lots of different people seeing it who wouldn't normally go and see this type of movie.
Like that's what like you sent me, or you told me to watch the movie Bob review.
Yeah.
And I
It was
watched that.
pretty
And
hot
his
take.
like biggest detractor was it's basically just a lesser version of Taxi Driver and King of Comedy stuff. And I was thinking like so few people have actually seen those movies that if
Especially King of Comedy. They only make
Oh.
watch 3 Scorsese films
Yeah,
nowadays.
100%. And so it's like the fact that people have watched Joker and sort of gotten some of the elements that were in those movies that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise is a good thing. Like, you know, if you're going to watch something that's close or at least has something to say, like, go watch Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. On to another more recent release, Gemini Man. Will Smith versus Will Smith. I believe myself and Declan are the only ones that have seen this.
Okay, so this is I doubt this is really a spoiler, and I haven't really watched much of the trailers. But are they actually like versing each other? Like, are they actually trying to kill each other, or do they become friends? Like, is it sort of?
Well, you.
I have to see it, right?
Yeah.
But are they actually trying to kill each other?
I believe
Yeah.
that they probably would have a fight scene in there because that seems
Okay.
like if you look at the
Alright.
poster,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the whole point. At least one, probably two. Probably one in a car and like one on the ground, I reckon.
There'll be one at night, one a day.
Yeah, one at night, one a day, one that's sort of hand to hand, one
You
that's
sure
probably
you
in a
haven't
car.
seen this movie?
Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like
That's
we've
the
watched
general-
movies
yeah.
before.
It's the general breakdown, man.
Or it's like they just gave away the whole movie in the trailer.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't watch. How was the 60 high frame rate,
Well,
whatever it was?
It was originally going to be 120, but I believe we only saw it in 60 because it didn't feel as rapid as I thought it would be. But even 60, it's kind of like, whoa, just calm down. Like it's just a bit much.
I remember The Hobbit did 48 frames per second,
right.
and
Yeah.
that looked really off to me. Like all the props looked more like props.
Yeah.
No,
But so 120,
especially those movies.
it looked like a soap opera at that point. You know, a soap opera.
Yeah,
is
they
like,
filmed, like,
No, it's all about the like. They used to do like the smoothing on TV. or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
they call it,
that's what I was getting
and
at,
then
yeah.
now it's like,
Also, me and Declan watched it in 3D as well. So I mean,
Yeah, that was interesting.
But was the actual like de-aging technology, was that convincing?
I'd say like 85%.
85%?
would look amazing.
All right, because that's really the main
Yeah.
technical thing of the film.
in
that
the
I'd get right.
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight doesn't.
And but I have to say the whole movie, his eyes just never looked.
yeah. The
But
weird
they can never get eyes right.
They kind of like stab themselves in the I don't know what is the usual thing? Stab themselves
Foot.
In the
in the
foot.
foot? Shot themselves in the foot?
Yeah,
I don't know.
shot themselves.
Yeah.
Stabbed them.
They kind of shot themselves in the Will Smith because the fact that they're trying to do de-aging, which looks better in darkness, but they're doing high frame rate, which means you have to light everything like
Yeah.
twice as much, means that they've kind of reached this like awkward like
Yeah.
you're either gonna look good or the de-aging's gonna be bad. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
But even like in pictures I've seen from The Irishman and that, Robert De Niro's eyes never look right.
Yeah,
But-
eyes are the hardest part to get right. So.
But his eyes are like there's too much of a gap here. It's
Yeah.
just, it just doesn't look right.
They should just keep the eyes. Like, just keep the eyes and change everything else.
Yeah.
But old or current Will Smith is the best part of the film.
Yeah.
because he makes it entertaining.
So, is it the performance? Like, is there a clear difference in like how he talks, how he moves? as
The way he
younger
talks,
version?
he
Like-
does sound like a bit more raspy, like older him.
Okay.
Younger him sounds so like, you know.
Is it
And they
just-
do feel like very different characters.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever watch it, but
No,
we'll see.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jumping back to the start of September, It Chapter 2, which we all saw as well.
Yeah.
Jacob.
For starters, this movie was way too long. It's
Oh
2 hours and
God.
50 minutes.
Yeah,
And
dude.
when we saw it, we
Yeah.
saw it at a special clown screening where people came in dress up.
Oh.
But then, like as a prelude, they did this entire magic show. That
It was
like 40
really. It
minutes.
was, and I figured it out, and we paid about $2.17 for the privilege of watching that.
Yeah.
show.
For this guy to do like magic tricks.
With card tricks that you can't even see from.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you know what? But
Yeah.
that aside, not holding that against the movie. The movie itself, it got to a point where it felt like there would be an ending, and then you realize you got 50 minutes more to go on.
That's it, because
Yeah.
I was seeing it with some
Yeah.
friends, and you know when James McAvoy's running to the fair to
Yeah.
save that kid?
Right.
One of my friends was like, this is going to be a great finale. I'm like,
Yeah,
so-
no, guys.
Check your watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's ages left.
And I think just it's not as scary when they're adults versus when they're kids. Like
Yeah.
there's something about kids and clowns and that fear of being a kid that Stephen King writes very well.
and there wasn't enough Pennywise. Like,
Yeah.
he was in so many different forms that it was like, he was never in the movie.
Mm.
And it was,
Yeah, you sort of stop us like they're all him, but they don't really feel like they're all him.
Exactly, yeah.
They feel like sort of separate beings and stuff. So, yeah, weird.
Yeah.
The acting was pretty good. I did like the actors, and the characters were likable, so that worked.
Bill Hader is probably the
Yeah, Bill
highlight.
Hader was definitely the highlight of that film. But all the acting pretty much across the board was pretty good.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing where there was just so much that every scene had the exact same rhythm. It became like
It was the whole
same
second act.
scene.
It was so repetitive. I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, the second act was
Yeah.
just an excuse to have basically the scenes that were really popular in the first film,
Yeah.
those scare scenes, for just every character over and over for a really contrived reason.
Yeah.
And the best scene in the movie was probably the one that they had in the first trailer, which was the old lady and Jessica Chastain.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that actually did get me.
Spoiled, so I was
Yeah.
like, damn. And then when she turns into, well, I mean, it's not really a spoiler because you know that she's Pennywise, right?
Yeah.
When she turns into that big
Mm.
lady,
Oh, yeah.
it looked weird. I don't know. Some
No.
of these CGI monsters looked a bit off, but
Speaking of de-aging, Finn Wolfhard, his eyes.
Oh, yeah, nah, he
the-
looked...
the kid. It's weird that we're at a point now where they're even de-aging kids to
Yeah.
look like 2 years younger.
Yeah.
You know? It's like we're gonna make this 15-year-old look 13. You're like, can you guys?
It was so
Couldn't rate,
noticeable. Like, it just looked too smooth. It was
yeah. I was gonna. No, I can't talk about. We can't talk about El Camino because this man hasn't finished Breaking Bad yet. So.
yeah.
But in a general sense, like no one cares if you're 15-year-old. Like, well, I don't know. There's no one sitting there. We all know that the actors
Yeah.
are older now. You know, so
Yeah.
if you're doing the sequels, like, do you really need to spend that much money trying to make them look a little bit younger?
Yeah.
It's just a disappointing movie.
Yeah.
Look, I'm glad it exists, right? Like, I'm
Yeah,
glad
for
that they took a stab at finishing the book, and at least it's still better than the original miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe watching it together as one big 5-hour long movie is
Maybe.
the way to go. But
Yeah.
That's true.
On that note of disappointing movies, Rambo: Last Blood. Myself and Declan were actually kind of looking forward to this movie because it just looked like it'd be just fun, action sort of ride. But it was, I found the first 2 acts really boring for this movie. Everything was pushed towards the end. The trailers were just the last act.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
The last 20 minutes.
So was the first half just him just like going to like Tai Chi?
Wasn't
and,
him
like...
riding a horse?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't you hate action movies like that where you promise an action and the first half of the movie is just him like moping around being sad?
He's like, fuck, I'm
Yeah.
old.
I'm old. I'm
Yeah.
sad. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. But no, was the action good though? Like when it actually got
action
going?
was-
When it was
Yeah.
brutal.
It was
Bruce,
kick-ass, yeah.
well, again, like this is what we came for. Like, just
Exactly.
give us more of that. You know?
Was it R-rated? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For us, it was yeah.
So I'm assuming we've all seen Rambo 4, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or at least like the end scene where
Ah.
he just like blows everyone apart. Compared to that, is it that violent or is it?
It's a different.
Is it bits and
it's a
pieces?
different
That was
type.
kind of funny because it was just so ridiculous
Right,
that
yeah.
people's bodies were
Yeah.
just blowing apart.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, like
This-
at the start, I'll give away something that happened at the start of the movie. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
he stabs this guy in the shoulder to try and torture him to get information out, and then the guy's not
Budging,
giving it
yeah.
up, and so he puts his hand in his shoulder and
Like
rips out
here,
his
like he
collarbone.
rips that out.
Are you kidding?
No,
Alright, I
yeah.
kind of want to watch it.
That's pretty
now.
metal. That's pretty metal. But
Like-
again, like you got stuff like that, but
Wow.
then like they kind of like spread it a bit thin throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like, could we just get more of that?
Exactly.
It's like John Wick doesn't have that problem where like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
John Wick, the action is consistently on, and
Yeah.
like that's what we're here for. But I don't know. I guess
Yeah, people think like we're going to action movies for character studies, which
Yeah.
technically Rambo was supposed to be.
Yeah, like the first
you
one.
know? But then it just became something completely different. So it's like you're trying to balance the First Blood versus Rambo fans.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But all the criticisms of its depiction of like women and Mexicans and that was a bit exaggerated, I think.
Okay.
'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look,
it's like they're not like shitting on all of Mexico on the film. They're like it's like a very select gang, and the gang does some very horrible things. So you're kind of like, come on, Rambo.
seems like Mexico's become a bit of a target in just film history recently, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Stallone is a Trump supporter, so
Is he really? Are you
Oh.
kidding?
wow. I knew Mickey O'Rourke was.
I
a
did not know
Republican. Oh, Sylvester Stallone. Damn.
Clint Eastwood endorsed.
Oh well, Clint
Donald
Eastwood's
Trump back in the
been
day.
He's like
right wing
90.
guy since Dirty Harry. Like,
Yeah.
see that movie? No. But didn't know Sly was into that. Damn. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Last Blood, last time. And he's not in the Creed movies, so what is he doing now?
If you're a Trump supporter, run out to see this one, because apparently this one's for you guys.
Yeah.
It has the wall in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It
oh,
does. Yeah, it has the wall in it.
So it's
Yeah.
set in like the dystopian future where there's a wall.
Throw that in
Is
my
there like a
topic.
moat with crocodiles and stuff? And shit?
That is the best vision of humanity. That is.
Alright. What's speaking of visions?
Yeah, Vision of Humanities, Ad Astra.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen this. Jacob has
This
seen it.
man.
I did. I watched this on a BitTorrent last night. Because I thought we had to see all these movies by today. But I thought legitimately that this was actually a movie that dealt with the issue of mental health in a lot more nuanced and a lot more effective way than Joker. I felt like the way so none of you have seen the movie?
We've
I've
seen
seen
it.
Oh, you guys
I
seen?
haven't.
You haven't. Yes,
I'm
I
really
felt like,
keen, so don't spoil.
I won't spoil it too
Yeah.
much, but Brad Pitt really does a good job, and I love the way that they essentially narrow it down to a father and son relationship,
Cool.
and just that's the heart of the story.
Might see it tonight.
And the last scene that because Tommy Lee Jones plays his
Right.
father.
Yeah.
The last scene they have together, the dialogue it's a bit on the nose,
Right.
but it gets across what he's trying to
Awesome.
get at. And yeah, it's a good movie, and it feels like it's a movie that sort of is like space travel ain't all that. Like, you know, you get movies like Interstellar and Gravity, and they're like, space is amazing. It's the thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
And this movie's like, humans probably ruin that too. It's probably not all that.
That's
Damn,
that's
okay.
exactly
We
how I
should
felt.
probably focus
Really
more on-
interested.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very slow and
It's a slow
boring movie,
build.
but
Yeah.
it still engages you with that.
The payoff is very
relationship
good though. Visually too, it's just stunning. Yeah.
And Brad Pitt,
Brad
he
Pitt.
carries
Brad-
home in this one. Like,
Awesome.
you know, there are some movies where you watch Brad Pitt and you're like, yeah, you're just kind of phoning it in here. But sometimes when he's really on, he's really on.
Yeah.
And he's really on in this one.
Sweet. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah. Dora and the Lost
Any
City
of
of
us see
Gold.
this?
No.
I wish I'd seen
I kind
this.
of want to because A, it's just such a weird thing that exists. B, we interviewed the guy who cast the movie.
Oh.
So I feel kind of obligated to sit because I know him. And then it was filmed in Queensland.
And yeah, that's
Really?
right.
So, like, I
Like
kind of
Gold
feel like
Coast.
watching it just purely for that, but
Yeah.
Do you know how much, like, was this an expensive production? Like, was this a big budget thing?
I think it would have been like
Decent.
50 mil or something, right?
I don't
I think it was
know.
like
Yeah.
40 something.
So yeah, I saw this
How
one.
was it?
Saw this one with Heath
Yeah.
It's- because I heard a lot of like people were saying this was like really good.
yeah, I
And
heard that. Right?
And I was like, wait, what? But it's fine. Like it's a fine movie. It's definitely one of the better kids movies that
I
you could
wish it
be
just went
watching.
immediately on Netflix, like one of those.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like it would have gotten a lot more, but
It's such an easy watch. It flies by really quick.
cool.
Um,
Just get weapon drunk,
Yeah.
as Heath would say.
yeah,
He wanted to see Gemini Man weapon drunk.
yeah.
I think he just wants to get weapon drunk.
Yeah,
I think what you're really saying, Dragon, is that Dora and the Lost City of Gold is better than It Chapter 2, Gemini Man, and Rambo Last Blood. So go see that one.
You know what?
Yeah, legit.
Like in terms of movies that I have seen, I think Dora is above all of those.
It made the top 5 for this week, I reckon. Top 5.
Yeah, so
It
I mean,
cost 50 mil and made 110 mil.
Wait, really? I was exact. Wow.
Damn.
50.
I was just looking at movies
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know how much you
You
cost.
know exactly what the production budget that was.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot
Yeah,
of there's some
yeah.
cringy moments in that, but that's to be
Yeah.
expected.
How's Danny as Danny Trejo as Boots?
The moment that it happens,
Right.
I forgot he was like the voice, and then
Right.
it happens, you're like, that's right. Like it was. I remember
Sorry,
Heath was just
spoilers.
laughing, so yeah, it was fun. It was alright.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll watch both of those tonight. Ad Astra and Dora. I'll do a double feature.
Double feature.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to watch first? Would you watch Dora or Ad Astra first?
I would probably watch Ad Astra first.
Ad Astra first.
Hand
it
it off
like-
to Dora.
Chaser? Chaser?
Chaser?
Yeah, they're probably
Chaser
double
that?
features.
You got a
midway through the
massive
second movie,
shot of
so-
bourbon whiskey and then you like creaming soda to wash that down.
Yeah, well, what's the cream soda and what's the whiskey in this case?
Whiskey
Well,
is
Ad Astra's clearly the creaming soda, and Dora, the Lost
Oh,
City
okay.
Gold, is the sophisticated bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Alright, I like that.
It's just sumptuous.
Alright. Moving on to Good Boys. I watched this one.
I do want to watch this.
Same, yeah.
It was really funny. I really like this movie. It does what Heath would call the cardinal sin of comedy movies, the second act, end of second act, like break up.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, like, that's just movie structure.
Yeah.
That's just the second act.
Yeah,
It
and
is-
sometimes it can work. This one, it felt kind of out of place, but the message of this movie, the comedy, because these boys are genuinely
Good.
boys. Like they're not bad kids. They're just in a bad situation,
Right.
and they're just like, crap. How do we get out of this? And it was just really funny. And the message, it really hit. Like it just made you want to call up all your boys and be like, yo, I love
You
you.
guys are good.
Yeah, it's such a feel.
Yeah, that's some wholesome stuff.
It's
right
a
there.
wholesome.
Are
movie.
the child actors good? Because sometimes the child actors can be hit
Yeah,
or miss.
no,
but
they're really
hit.
funny.
Yeah.
They got it.
I
Yeah.
Slap.
think I don't know, like maybe someone can do it for us, but like just make a graph of like how child acting's gotten better over the years. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think that it definitely has
Well,
reached.
except for
its-
Dumbo.
I think people.
Except for fucking Dumbo. God. Sorry, you just brought that
I
straight
mean,
back
but
to my
what about Tim
consciousness.
Burton makes you think he's good at working with people? Like,
Well, Charlie and Chocolate Factory was the example we used when we reviewed it.
you know, I would
Yeah.
actually low key to get on a bit of a tangent here. I would actually watch the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'd be more keen to watch that than the original one with Gene Wilder.
No, you can fuck right off.
No, I'm saying like right now, I would watch.
Look-
I would be like, yeah, as
No.
good as the Gene Wilder one is, the flawed masterpiece of Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate
Look,
Factory.
I love both of
the
them.
absolute cinematic oddity that movie is. I would much rather watch that.
No, you're not wrong. It's sort of like how I recently felt like watching the Fantastic Four movies. Just because
Wait, like all three of them?
dude, that the first
Oh,
one.
well,
like
I mean,
like
we don't
we're not
mention
talking about
that
Fan
one.
Force.
The Silver Surfer is a pile of burning trash, but
No,
the
no, no.
original one.
No.
I like the first
I
one.
tell you what,
I like the
Silver
first one.
Surfer's actually better than
You
the
think it's
first
No
better?
way.
one. No, I can't
Also,
believe it.
but
Controversial.
I can never forget those moves of making essentially a beta cuck out of Victor Von Doom. Like,
Yeah.
dude is the most awesome comic book villain of all time, and he's just some weird corporate dude. That just makes you a beta cuck. Victor
Yeah.
Von Doom. Like, it really sucked. Like, so that's why I can never forget those films because, yeah, they just totally ruined that
Look,
character.
We'll do a whole episode.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh,
special
Fantastic
Well, yeah, this will be discussed further.
When
yeah.
the new MCU version comes out, we'll do like
Yeah,
a whole
in on that.
rewatch.
Moving on to The Farewell. Myself, Declan, and Heath saw this one. I think were you looking forward to this movie?
Well, I'd heard the good reviews in that. I hadn't seen any trailers, but the film, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think you liked it more.
I probably liked it the most out of us three. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was definitely a good movie, but it didn't impact me, or
No.
I haven't thought about it since.
Didn't slap or chap. It was just kind of,
It's just kind of hap.
just kind of a hap. Yeah,
Yeah.
you weren't. You were just whelmed watching that one.
Yeah.
It was a little awkward. Fina. I don't know.
You tried
Nice.
those. Yeah. No,
We can
I
cut
did.
that one out, right?
Not too late.
Yeah.
That cannot be fixed.
Yeah, you're not hiding from that one. Mate. You made the decision. It's
that's
going.
right. You
It's
gave me
going
a
in the final
platform
edit.
and-
I'm gonna watch it, and if it's not in, I'm lock loaded, hunting you down in the street.
But no, it was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
like with movies with old people, and that always gets me a bit sad. But yeah,
Yeah.
Except for Rambo, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sad for a different reason.
Yeah, I definitely like The Farewell probably the most out of three. There was a lot of cultural things that hit me more in this movie that I was like, oh, I completely get that. The relationship between Awkwafina and the grandmother in the movie was displayed. It was just so nice. It was like so heartwarming, and the whole movie. Do you know what it's about?
I honestly have no idea.
'Cause
I
I don't
all
really
I've
wanna
heard is that
say.
she's gonna get like Oscars for this. Was all I heard.
Oh, damn! All
So
right.
there was some,
She was
like,
really
awards.
good. I don't want to spoil like any part of the plot because it's just like I don't know. It's just more
Is there a
hitting.
farewell at some point in the movie?
Yeah. Kind of.
I love how I was like, and they literally named the movie Farewell, and you like have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's just.
spoilers and all.
I figured that
well,
it was
I
just
guess.
more talking about like an old person's life, sort of.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right?
That's what they
Yeah.
were kind of
It's
getting
a
at.
long-term farewell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
long term
Yeah.
farewell.
It was just kind of the whole movie. You were like, oh, yeah. It's just that sort of feeling. But yeah, I thought it was funny too. Like there was a lot of humorous moments in that movie.
I mean, the saddest movies are typically the funniest as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like Shrek 2.
Sure.
Shrek 2.
That was a
Rise of
god
the
tier
Silver
movie.
Surfer.
Oh, I like Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Anyway,
Anyways, on to the last movie that I saw and the last movie of this segment. Take Home Pay,
I
which
literally
is
have no idea what this is.
it's a New Zealand Samoan production movie that myself and my mate, Heath's mate as well, Quincy.
Shout out to martial artist Quincy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely, this is a movie that's definitely for the Islander audience because there's a lot of moments where I was watching it with Quincy and he was like, oh, and I was like, it definitely helps to watch it with someone with a background in that. But I generally thought the movie was funny. This guy has directed 2 other movies that I have seen that's come out in the last 2 years or something. And the first movie was like a comedy. The second one was like a romantic movie. And this one's an action comedy. So he's broadening his genres. The movie was fine. It's kind of forgettable. The movie goes on a bit too long. Like there's this moment and you're like, oh, is it going to end? And it goes on for 20 more minutes. So that was a bit disappointing. But all in all, it's just a simple movie, which is kind of fun. So yeah, that's simple movie, simple thoughts.
Alright, and it's now time for the big news of the month. It's the headline stealers. Graphic. Alright, big news. Congrats to everyone for waiting out there, for suffering for 2 weeks for no reason, just while 2 businesses had a little fight in the kitchen until they finally got back together. Spider-Man's back in the MCU. Woo. Good job. And congrats. Well done to Tom Holland, who, according to all reports, was the mastermind behind making it happen.
Bob Iger did say that Tom Holland did call him.
Yeah, apparently
Tom Holland had the balls to call the CEO of Disney.
Well, he asked for his number and he called him up and apparently Bob Iger makes a joke when he talks about it on Jimmy Kimmel. He's like, he was crying on the phone, and then he goes, no, he actually wasn't crying. But I genuinely feel like Tom Holland would have worked up the emotion and just been like, look, like, you know, this means a lot to so many people. We want to make this right. And then Bob Iger got guilted into...
In material terms, in actual terms, who do you think, like, caved and gave into demands? Was it... So did Sony get the original deal back? Is that what's happened?
No, it's a bit more...
Or
Disney walked. And then I'm
Disney
assuming that... Well, it was actually... So, according to the way Bob Iger tells it, Tom Holland calls him up, convinces him, Bob Iger then calls Sony, then they have a meeting, then they sort it out.
Alright.
But this was always going to happen.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen, but I was just wondering if Disney ended up, how much of their demands did they end up getting?
They get 25% of profits.
Yeah.
They get 25 now?
But they also have to pay for 25%.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out, but they had 5% originally, and they
were
50,
originally
got
on 50,
25. So fucking
exactly.
Effective negotiation tactics.
Yeah, literally.
Nice work.
Just had to make a few subreddits freak out for a
couple
weeks. But they got what they wanted.
So we get a Spider-Man movie in 2021.
And another movie after that.
And they even got to do it without throwing Kevin Fiege under the bus as well. He got to maintain his good reputation with fans.
I mean, that's the thing is Disney now looks like the heroes.
That
is constantly what they're doing is how can we look like the better
The mouse always wins.
That's what I'm saying. It was a good move. Good move.
But that means we get 8 MCU properties in 2021.
That's crazy.
4 movies.
Yeah, 4 movies.
4 movies, 4 TV shows.
Well, speaking of the hardest working man in Hollywood, Kevin Feige is now also producing a Star Wars movie. On top of literally like all of the Disney Plus TV shows, I've lost count, all of the new movies. He just got promoted to be like the chief executive officer of Marvel. So that means he's like in charge of the TV and animation and all of that. Overseeing it.
It's nuts.
This man must really know how to delegate. I'll say that. He must really know how to get other people to do stuff.
That's what I'm keen for is more people to put focus on like the other producing partners because there are a lot of them. He's just the one that has like the oversight. Yeah. But I don't know how he's then got time to do Star Wars as well.
Well, what kind of any word on what kind of movie it is, or just a Star Wars?
At the moment, they've been very quiet.
I've heard it's just like he came up with an idea. He pitched to Kathleen Kennedy, said yes. I bet Disney was like, say yes.
I doubt it's a hard conversation.
And apparently he's got an actor in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
legitimately,
people were saying it was Brie Larson, but we'll see.
They're just asking for it at this point. Like they're literally like, what actor could we get that would really annoy the people who hated the last?
Yeah, I know, right?
I was thinking Brie Larson. They're really just walking into it at this point. It's like they're buying into it.
Maybe that was just a joke someone made just to troll.
Yeah. Because honestly, like
Star Wars Reddit.
I mean, I know that the influence of that like vocal minority is very much upplayed. And like
totally.
it's not that influential.
Yeah.
And the boycott did not affect.
Alright, well,
Solo.
speaking of, because I don't think it's in here. So the Star Wars trailer is coming out on Monday, and man, the entirety of like r/Star Wars leaks, which is the one I follow, which I shouldn't be because fucking I need to stay away.
Yeah.
It's an addiction, it's a disease.
My strange addiction to Star Wars subreddits.
Star Wars leaks. But
Like an
everyone is just like can't wait, so excited, and like.
And it's gonna come out and it's gonna be like, what is this trash?
And that was like the top comment was
My
like,
joke to you.
can't wait for everyone to come. Like,
Can't wait for everyone to be disappointed when it's not what they expected.
Yes.
But Star Wars is annoying. Just enjoy it for what it is. Like, should have ended years ago and we're getting it more. So just appreciate every little bit.
Another fun fact: they're also filming The Mandalorian season 2 already.
Whoa!
Jesus.
I mean, the reception for that has been pretty across the board. Hell yeah, keen.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, The Mandalorian is. I think it's the show they're leading with launching it. Like that's their Star Wars show they're leading.
Well,
with.
I mean, the movies like if they really keep DB Weiss and David Benioff on the series, it's going to be interesting. Ryan Johnson's iffy on. He's doing another movie after Knives Out, so who knows when that'll happen. So it seems like Disney Plus will be the Star Wars content for the next few years.
Yeah.
So yeah. Speaking of is Jeffrey Reed? No, he's not. So none of these actors are in Star Wars. Speaking of properties that are continuing after many years, the Batman has some casting news.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to rattle it off. You've probably heard of it.
Jeffrey
None of these guys have been officially announced by Warner Brothers, but that's typically how it goes. They sort of hit the
that's really
the tabloids, as they say. That's how Robert Pattinson found out he was Batman. Was right at the end there.
There's no white smoke coming out from the Warner Brothers HQ. It's like we've announced the new Batman.
No, that's right. They put the signal in the sky and then Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon, which, as Reddit was happy to point out, confirms that this is not connected to Ben Affleck. Because it's kind of awkward if Jeffrey Wright ages into J.K. Simmons. As much as I would like to see that happen slowly over the course of the trilogy.
It's the Michael Jackson effect.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, so I don't know where this movie sits, what universe it's in. It seems like they don't really give a shit anymore.
No. Yeah.
Which I like. So Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon, I think that's great.
Yeah.
And they're going younger on all of the characters, which I think is cool. And then Zoe Kravitz from Kin fame is playing Catwoman, which I think works. She played Catwoman in the Lego Batman 2. I mean, the Lego Batman movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I love.
It is a good movie.
I really like
one of my
that
favorites, 2018. Yeah, you're right. But it must have been early in 2017.
Yeah.
It was like March or something for us.
But yeah, good times. Excited. Jonah Hill is not in negotiations to play a villain. He was supposed to be the Riddler/Penguin, but now he's neither.
I think it was like Matt Reeves wanted him for the Penguin, but
Yeah.
Jonah Hill wanted to play the Riddler because apparently that's a better
Really?
role. But then it also came down to Jonah Hill wanted a lot of money. So
10 mil or something.
Sounds like it was never going to work out.
Damn. Well, maybe they'll get him back in the sequel as Bane. I'd like to see Jonah Hill's Bane.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah, you're right. The Paul Dano though has been cast as the Riddler. I was trying to think of what I know him from. What do I know Paul Dano?
Prisoners?
Oh, he looks
Swiss Army
Prisoners.
Man?
He looks a bit like a Quentin.
He was in Looper.
Some other Looper. Boom.
I was about to say he looks a bit like a Quentin Blake illustration from the Roald Dahl books, like Charlie Charlie Favoring.
I thought you meant Quentin from like
No.
Far From Home.
No. Quentin Blake, the
Beck.
guy who does the illustration of those Roald Dahl books. He
Yeah.
looks a bit like that. I think I've seen him in a few of
So
those.
do you.
So do I in general, yeah. That Quentin.
That's a joke.
Yeah, seen Jacob looks like Quentin Blake illustration.
So yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Again.
Do you think, like, what kind of Riddler do you think they're going to go for? Do you think he's going to have the top hat and the cane and the
I
green
think it'll be like
suit, or
the Arkham games.
the Arkham games? Think they're going to go classic comic book look
Just
with
sort of got
that?
the suit.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see what Matt Reeves' like look and vision of his Batman world will be.
I think it's going to be more comic booky than we've
Yeah,
had.
Yeah.
because the Dark Knight already did that
Yeah.
very
It's-
realistic take.
yeah.
So I think it frees him up
Yeah.
to do something different now, which is
Plus,
good.
you can't really do characters like the Riddler if you go super realistic.
No.
Well, I think you can't really do something like Bane going super realistic, but they kind of did that because the whole point of Bane is meant to be jacked up on like steroids.
Yeah.
I guess
That's
that's why
like-
I think Jonah Hill, Bane.
And Scarecrow even as well, like
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm glad they're doing something different because like that's kind of played out. That whole
Yeah.
like, I'm glad they're doing something a bit more comic booky.
Excited. Well, speaking of comic books, James Gunn has revealed the full cast of Suicide Squad, including I keep saying is Pom Clementif or whatever.
Because she's always hanging out with the cast.
Yeah, because in the photo it's like the Suicide Squad and Pom, but then there's another photo of them having lunch.
Let me look
So
at my
is
phone.
she in the
She's
Suicide
Mantis.
Squad?
Oh, Mantis.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mantis.
Regardless, there was that full image of the
Suicide
cast, which has some of your favorites like Idris Elba playing Vigilante, Margot Robbie, Jai Courtney,
Joel Kinnaman.
Joel
Viola
Kinnaman,
Davis.
yeah.
Then you got
Big listener.
John Cena.
John Cena,
Taika
Peter
Waititi.
Capaldi, Taika Waititi. This movie's gonna be
Nathan
so
Fillion.
cool. Nathan Fillion.
Peter Capaldi's in this, dude.
Yeah,
That's
Peter
right.
Capaldi.
James Gunn's girlfriend, who just put in the movie, and his brother.
Sure, yeah.
Seems
Yeah,
like
Sean
if you're
Gunn.
related or dating James Gunn, you'll end up in a movie.
Pretty nepotistic, but
That's
damn.
cool.
I mean, it's
Oh,
James
Michael
Gunn. He
Walker.
can do what he wants at this point.
I mean, look, they're movies. They've
Yeah.
always been nepotistic.
He
That's
literally
how
left
it's
left Disney for like a month over a dispute.
But we
Oh,
wouldn't have
fuck.
gotten the Suicide Squad
Yeah,
without,
which is
so I'm
awesome.
kinda
So
glad.
I'm quite glad. Yeah.
Yeah. The last two news stories for this segment. Oh God, can somebody please say?
Yahya
for me?
Abdul Mateen 2.
Wow.
Second or
Good job.
just two?
The second?
There were
Two.
two. I'm assuming you put
AKA
the second.
I, maybe?
What's his name?
Black Manta from
Black
Aquaman.
Manta.
Yeah.
Black Manta from Aquaman.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris, aka one of the best Spider-Man. People forget. And Jada Pinkett Smith, aka Will Smith's
Wife?
wife of
Huh.
20-something years.
Damn.
That's kind of all she's really like. You know what I mean? Like she's been in Gotham,
Angel Has Fallen?
and I guess The Matrix is probably her.
She's kind of popular at the moment with her Red Table Talk show. on
But
Facebook.
no one who outside of you
would know that.
would know that.
Admittedly, though, Will Smith was like the biggest movie star on the planet at one point. So
Yeah.
it's like to live in
Yeah.
his shadow isn't necessarily like.
She did when it was announced that she was in the movie. There's so much hate in the
It's
on
the
Reddit,
Matrix
and I was
4,
like,
by the way.
why? Yeah,
Matrix 4.
You didn't put that together. Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. As people say, Neil Patrick Harris, he's going to be one of the they call them what's the word? You know, they sit on the computers and they direct people, an operator. And I was like, that's perfect. He actually he suits that role. Anyways, next up, speaking of people coming back from movies for another installment, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, in the worst kept secret in Hollywood, are back in Jurassic World 3. We knew that this has been happening for ages. They kept enticing with it, yet they kept teasing it. Finally, fully announced. I feel like they'll be in the movie like barely.
Yeah, it'll be like a token thing. You'll get Jeff Goldblum saying "Life finds a way" or some variation of that.
He's already said that. He said that in Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, I hate
Did
that
he?
movie.
Oh, there you
Did
go.
He was in like
Yeah.
one scene in that movie.
Or he said something similar. But anyway,
Something about chaos theory. I don't know.
something he did the hand thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I can't help but be excited. Emily Carmichael writing the script.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum's always good. Like he's always just fun to see on
Yeah.
screen, especially now that he just gets to do his Jeff Goldblum thing. Just-
Yeah.
Does he have a Disney Plus show coming out? Like the
World according
the
to
world
Jeff
of Jeff
Goldblum.
Dude, I hope
Goldblum.
so. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's just things through his perspective.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the headline stealers. It's now time for
The big small news.
graphic.
Bam.
Graphics. We'll start off the big small news with Dwayne Johnson teasing that his Fast and Furious feud with Vin Diesel is over.
In his Instagram video.
Yeah, he was talking about Hobbs and Shaw's box office, and he was thanking his brother Vin Diesel for all of his support and also for congratulating him on his recent wedding. And I was like, oh.
Spoiler alert! It'll be back as soon as like the.
Dude, this is literally like a WWE storyline. He's drawn from this. I remember watching
So
stories
true.
like this back in the day, and yeah, the feud's off now, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
back on it a bit. It's gonna be
Yeah,
back
it'll be
on.
back on when it's needed.
Back on for Fast 9. It's gonna be
But,
whatever they're calling. I'm not sure. what
So,
they're
so The
calling it.
Rock won't be in Fast 9.
He's not in that one?
Because
No.
they've already filmed it.
Ah, so 10.
He will be in 10,
hopefully.
yeah.
10, hopefully.
Hopefully.
When
that
they go to
means he'll be in
space.
When they go
Yeah.
to space.
But yeah,
We're presuming they're not going to
Drifting
No.
past ET. Hell yeah.
but yeah, I hope he's in number 10 because
Yeah.
they all work together.
I just like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, I honestly think he's like just really charismatic on screen. And
He's
he
the
always,
next hardest working man in Hollywood after
yeah,
Kevin Feige.
yeah. He just always. I feel like he never really isn't entertaining to watch. Even if he's in a movie that's not that good, he's generally just pretty fun to watch. So,
I agree.
and he doesn't take himself too seriously, which is good. Like
Yeah,
he just
he
kind of-
knows what he's doing.
He knows his range.
Yeah.
He knows his limit. He works within that, and he does good at it. So.
Next up, we've got Michael Fassbender and Elizabeth Moss from Handmaid's Tale joining Taika Waititi's next film, Next Goal Wins, which he's doing before Thor:
Now, the
Love and
third
Thunder.
hardest working man in Hollywood, who's going from finishing Jojo Rabbit to shooting this to immediately then doing
Thor: Love
and
and
then going
Thunder.
back into Akira.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whoa.
I'm
But
so
yeah,
happy for him.
This is based off some sports documentary, true story thing.
I know. It's the Samoan soccer team who were just really bad at one point. I think they lost the game like 31-0.
Oh,
And-
that's soccer. That's rough.
And there's and I think they were in the World Cup, and then they had like a couple of days or a couple of weeks to have a coach and turn it around. I don't know how it went, but yeah.
Fair cop. Do you know what team dunked on them that hard though? Like I don't know. What...
I don't know.
Because if it was like,
It'd be like a European
if
team.
it was like Germany, like yeah, like I'd
Yeah.
that, like that's fair.
Imagine that being your first draw, like Samoa and Germany
Samoa
and
and
soccer.
Germany. Rip.
Ah, poor guys. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we've got Hayley Atwell from the Captain America movies joining the cast of Mission Impossible 7 and 8, which are filming back to back.
What character was she in those movies? She was the...
Peggy.
Oh, nice, awesome.
So she'll be the new female lead for these two.
Is Rebecca Ferguson back in?
She'll probably be back, but yeah, they're probably just trying to switch it
Yeah,
up a
I'm
bit.
sure they'll get everyone. I a lot of people are like, why don't they get back people from like the first
Previous
few?
ones,
Like,
What about Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be back. I feel like he will be back.
Yeah.
But what's her name? Tandy Newton. Get back
Oh, from
Tandy
Two?
Newton.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
from 2.
Just to forget about 2.
No, I love 2 so much.
Two's the one set in Sydney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I was
I
watching that. I was like,
honestly
hey.
think 2 is great.
Two's actually pretty good. Like, I'd pay that. I mean, it's very dated watching it now.
Yeah.
All those movies are kind of dated watching
That's
it
what
now.
makes
But...
it fun. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mission Impossible 7 and 8 filming back to back, Doug Liman, the director of Edge of Tomorrow, says the sequel might shoot after Mission Impossible 8. But Mission Impossible 8 comes out in 2022, which means Edge of Tomorrow 2 won't come out till...
Well, actually,
2023.
it's not called Edge of Tomorrow 2. Jacob, do you know what the sequel's called?
What's it
Isn't it? Oh, I think I know
So
what.
they renamed Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was originally called All You Need Is Kill, because it's based on a manga,
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah.
I don't think they made
Manga.
anime, but it was a manga. And then they named the movie Edge of Tomorrow when it was released. But then they used the tagline for the movie to become the DVD title, which was Live, Die, Repeat. So what do you think the sequel to Live, Die, Repeat is called?
What, not just Live, Die, Repeat again, or...?
Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat.
Oh, damn, yeah, literally,
It'll
they're
change.
living in,
It'll
we're
change.
living
I hope
in
it
like
changes.
2019, they're living in 3019. No, that actually is pretty funny.
So that's the apparent title. of it.
I love Edge of Tomorrow.
Live, Die, Repeat.
So I thought it ended well, so I'm like, I don't really want to see another sequel.
But apparently the idea of the sequel, they've been kicking it around for ages, apparently it's really good.
like, I hope it's good, and I'm keen to see it. But the way the first one ended was just great, in my opinion.
Edge of Tomorrow was actually, I actually liked that. I
Yeah.
thought they really leaned well into the video gamey conceit of living, dying, and I thought that worked really well. Because
The movie ends with the, what's that song? It's like,
Oh, the John Newman.
yeah, it's like, I need to, it's totally a weird song to
Yeah.
put at the end of the...
Love it.
But, yeah, I think it's-
Moving on, we got Iko Uwais from the Raid movies. He's playing someone in the Snake Eyes movie. And
Is he
new
playing
G.I.
Snake
Joe.
Eyes?
No, Henry Golding is.
Oh.
Crazy Rich Asians fame.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
What is
Paramount's
Snake Eyes?
rebooting all the G.I. Joe
Oh,
stuff.
it's a G.I. Joe thing. Oh.
They're making a lot of sort of solo movies, so I think they're
No, I mean,
cinematic universe.
like I watched the Raid and the Raid 2 Redemption like any day of the week because
Hell yeah.
they're really fun. I was kind of disappointed that their cameo in The Force Awakens wasn't.
It was just nothing. They just showed up.
They showed up and were like,
and ran away.
"What up?" And then like
Did you see Mile 22 with Iko Uwais?
I didn't.
You
Was
should
that-
be glad.
Was that better? Like
No,
very
it's-
No.
I'm gonna say because they used the Indonesian martial arts in that, and it's different to the normal like kung fu movie stuff, it was nice change of pace, I suppose.
It's got a movie on Netflix too. The night comes for us. So if you like the Raid,
Oh yeah,
watch those.
oh yeah.
What was the guy who did the raid, Gareth Evans,
Gareth
did that,
Evans,
yeah, it's like Edwards, close.
Yeah.
He did that movie with Dan Stevens.
Apostle.
Yeah,
On
is
Netflix.
is
I haven't
that
seen
good?
it. I'm kind of scared to.
That'll be next month. You need to see this. Just watch.
it.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
okay.
But we'll see.
Alright.
Try and go through these a bit quickly.
Yeah, moving on.
Zack Snyder revealed that General Lennox, that general from Man of Steel, was going to be Martian Manhunter in Justice League.
Wow.
So, more Snyder cut.
Release the Snyder Cut. We need to see it.
Zack Snyder is just constantly baiting
More
Yeah.
fuel on that fire.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson now seems unsure about his Star Wars trilogy.
As in, he's unsure, or the
yes,
studio?
because when he was talking about it at the one Knives Out premiere, he was like, if he said if a lot.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I don't know.
Is the studio getting a bit toey, you think, or is it just him?
I don't
not sure
I
if
don't
he
know.
wants to take on a trilogy of
Yeah.
I think the man's
movies.
just suffering.
Yeah.
Poor
I
guy.
I think it's a shame because Loop is so good and Knives Out looks good. He clearly works well when he's creating his own thing. He just, in my opinion, is stuffed up with The Last Jedi. Yeah.
I don't think he's stuffed up. I thought it was an alright movie, but I think maybe he just is sick and tired of the backlash and the hate that he would have gotten from that. Which, fair enough.
Paramount is developing a Face Off reboot. I haven't seen Face Off.
I haven't seen Face Off either. I've never heard of that movie before in my life.
I love
John
Face
Travolta,
Off.
Nick Cage.
Have you
Oh,
seen?
okay, no, you're right. No, I remember that movie now.
They swap faces.
Yes. Oh, and I guess the technology would be better now for that, but
I don't know. It was pretty good. in
what
that.
an odd duo.
Yeah,
What
John
kind of
Travolta
odd-
acting as Nick
I
Cage.
Yeah,
love
what
that
kind
movie.
of
Nick
what
Cage,
kind
yeah.
of like duo would you get for that nowadays? Like, who would you get?
You would get Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, but that's too much. That's too like.
Which is literally Jumanji, right?
Yeah.
Because they're playing each other in their bodies.
Yeah, but
That's
it seems like that's too of a like I don't know, like that's a
But that is what the studio would pitch.
that
Yeah.
is what the studio would
They would
pitch.
read the script and they would be like, so who are you thinking? Because we know who we're thinking.
We know who we're thinking,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that, I just am thinking of a really offbeat one. Like I can't even think of anything.
The two guys from The Raid.
Slop.
Yeah, I mean, you did it.
That's the actual
Sold me.
Xbox
You
movie.
sold me.
A Training Day prequel is in the works at Warner Brothers.
I
We
love,
got
I love Training Day.
Our producer here is a big fan of Training Day.
Yeah,
Well,
Training Day.
David A is.
It's a great movie.
Actual good movies.
Just wrote that one, yeah. Mulan, the live action remake by Disney, is undergoing 4 months of extensive reshoots.
Ooh. Are they going to add music to the movie or?
I
Yeah.
Watch them do it.
I haven't seen a single Disney remake yet. I really don't intend to go
Yeah,
see
don't
it.
do it.
It feels like it is just a lesser
same
version of
thing,
something
yeah.
we've seen before.
But 4 months. That's
Yeah, that's a lot of
like
reshoots.
that's just like
Yeah, that's not reshoot. Oh,
That's-
that is
that's a
reshoot.
movie.
That's like, yeah,
That's
That's
how
like,
to make
yeah,
it.
I
And-
hate everything about what you film.
Yeah.
Go do it
wow,
again.
that's...
And Mulan is already Disney's most expensive non-Star Wars, non-Marvel movie.
Ooh, okay,
So,
okay.
This will up
That-
the budget a
And
lot.
Mulan's not even like I don't think she was as popular as like Aladdin or The Lion King.
No,
certainly
no, it's-
No.
didn't
I
have
don't know why
that.
they-
That like The Lion King is probably the most popular movie,
The
but even
only
something like
reason I'm
Aladdin
keen is
or
because
Beauty and the
they're
Beast.
bringing back Szechuan sauce as a tie-in for the movie.
I want my Szechuan sauce.
But yeah, I think it just comes down to hiring an indie director to helm a $300 million movie, and what do you
Yeah.
expect?
Yeah, it's almost like they would do that all the time, and then sometimes it doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
But they were basically sitting there like, you know what people love about Mulan? The music. So we're not doing any of the music. We're just going to do a straight adaptation.
A Tomb Raider sequel starring Alicia Vikander is arriving in March 2021.
I actually enjoyed last year's Tomb Raider. Thought it was fun.
They've tried to make a Tomb Raider thing work for a bit, and it feels like the last one. Did that gain much traction though? It didn't. I don't think.
I don't
it-
know.
Not many people
Yeah.
talk about it. I liked it.
I had fun, so yeah.
It was neither here nor there.
Mm.
Just play the games. Like, the new games are great.
New games are pretty good. The 2013 one, I think, was
Better.
pretty good. The other ones, mileage varies, but
Oh, moving on. Speaking of video game movies, I see what you did here. Hey.
you set that up
Stole
nicely.
it before I could even say.
Ooh.
Sorry. It's just I'm a huge fan of Uncharted.
Seriously though, Uncharted 4, Thief's End is easily one of the best games on the PS4.
Uncharted 4 and Thief's End is probably like pound for pound, like
It's funny,
top
because
3.
everyone watches
Top
Yeah,
3
that's
video
no
games.
idea.
Yeah, easy. So, like, really, and this movie, this movie does not
if
need
you
much.
haven't
to
realised, we're
it.
talking about the Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Uncharted was
because
Tom Holland.
Uncharted. Tom
Bumblebee
Holland.
director Travis Knight is directing the movie.
I'm sorry, Kubo and the Two Strings director, Travis Knight.
Yeah, this movie's an easy. I
I haven't
reckon
seen Kubo.
this movie sounds like an easy layup. Like, this sounds like the easiest layup you could do. And
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I actually am excited for this.
Because they've gone through a lot of directors.
Yeah, you can read 2 drafts of the scripts from the last 5 years online,
Dang.
so you can know what they were going to do.
So,
I am keen. I like that they're doing a different direction with how they're younger and Nathan Drake. That's cool shit.
should I speed round through the trailers?
Yeah, let's just do like
One more summation.
quick,
Well-
because I haven't seen any of them except for the last one.
Okay, so we got a trailer for Bad Boys for Life. Looks cool.
Looks fun.
we'll
Great
see.
to see Martin Lawrence and Will Smith back.
Yeah.
It's annoying there's the third movie, but they did the For Life. I'm like, I should have waited for the fourth one.
Yeah.
Oh, Bad Lives
Then again,
for Life.
maybe they won't get that much mileage out of it. So.
Yeah.
A new trailer for Jojo Rabbit.
So keen.
Oh yeah, very keen for this movie.
Very keen.
Better and better.
Polynesian Jew playing Hitler.
Another trailer for Knives Out. Ryan Johnson warned people not to watch this trailer, but I watched it.
I saw it in the cinema before.
What are you on about?
You didn't need to watch it. You're gonna see it. Why? Why watch it?
For me, I wasn't gonna watch it. It played before Gemini Man, so I was
It
stuck there.
It doesn't give away that much.
Yeah, but
I
I
suppose
would've
when you're
liked-
watching it, it would be like, oh.
I would have
Who
liked
done
to
it?
not
Like,
see
it's-
it.
That's exactly the kind of trailer you're doing.
Yep. They released a new trailer for The Kingsman, the prequel.
Low-key a little bit.
Kingsman.
I'm just kind of cautiously excited for this one. Like, I think
The
Kingsman,
titles-
the original, like, it got me. Like, the trailer was like, oh, they're actually doing a Kingsman prequel. Like, the first Kingsman was great. Second one, but I feel like they could make
the
this one
first
work.
trailer was very dark, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh,"
I was like,
but
"Ooh."
then this trailer was a lot more comedic. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
oh,
there's two trailers?
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's what this.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of like that was kind of a bit of a rope in. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, please don't go Golden Circle route.
I did see the Six Underground trailer,
Yeah,
and I just can't help but be excited for just Michael Bay. Like,
Michael Bay, Ryan Reynolds.
it's
Oh,
just,
God.
it's just owning it.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds has been very clear in the marketing materials. that it's like-
Yeah, it looks entertaining enough, but I don't know, it didn't really grab me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just look stupid.
I mean, yeah, that's the point.
I don't know, it's not.
I think that's what they're showing.
Yeah,
For Guy Ritchie's new movie,
Oh, I
The
did see-
Gentleman.
No, that looks cool.
that
as
looks
well.
really good.
I'm of the opinion that Guy Ritchie does Quentin Tarantino movies better than Tarantino does, because I don't know, I just think he does the whole shtick with the music and the dialogue and all that. I like those
Fourth
movies
wall
more,
and stuff.
especially Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch. So
Okay.
he's kind of fallen off for a bit. Like he
Aladdin.
hasn't, but this seems like a bit of a return to form. I hope.
Yeah,
I hope
okay.
it will be.
New trailer for 1917, a World War One movie from Skyfall.
More and more excited.
Oh yeah, no, this looks dope as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of Dunkirk inspired, obviously, but
Yes.
that's not bad.
And it's meant to be filmed in, or look like it's filmed in one shot.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like a
Oh,
bird
yeah.
Behind the
okay.
scenes thing shows you how they did it.
Huh,
It's really
It looks
impressive.
amazing.
Yeah.
Doolittle, Robert Downey Jr. plays Doctor Doolittle.
So basically, as soon as everyone the poster came out, a couple of days before the trailer, everyone was like, "This movie is just going to bomb because $150 million. They're dumping it in January, and like just the marketing materials aren't very good." So
I don't care.
and they reshot most of the movie, right?
Yeah.
so-
Rough. Okay.
yeah.
Jungle Cruise, more animals.
It looks
really.
fun. Jungle Cruise looks alright.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt look fun.
Yeah.
Hold right there. Where is the ST? Oh no, that's right.
Cool.
Onward,
Thanks,
another another trailer for that Pixar movie.
I don't know.
Which one? Onward? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that'll probably be. Probably think one of their best animated movies in a while. I think I saw the trailer and
Yeah,
I actually was like, "Damn, this looks literally inspired." Like, it's probably going to be
It
a
is
really good one.
interesting.
It'll be like up there with Inside Out, I reckon, in recent.
I love it.
real good.
Same
Pixar.
director, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Peter, whatever.
This
Is it a
is
doctor?
just judging from the
Doctor?
trailer, but I think it'll definitely be like it looks like they've got a good thing going with this
Yeah.
one. So yeah, I'd say look out for that one.
New Charlie's Angels trailer.
Resident Charlie's Angels expert in the corner here, Lucky White. What are we thinking?
I don't know. I didn't mind the cast. It looks alright.
That looks alright. There you go.
Our queen,
Mike
our
Myers.
queen Ariana Grande is releasing a new single for this, so get excited, guys.
Yeah.
No, I actually do kind of like Ariana Grande's new music, so I'm excited.
But I think the movie looks like garbage. So.
Ooh.
A new trailer for Spies in Disguise.
I haven't seen it.
Another Tom Holland animated movie.
With Will Smith.
Tom Holland is the fourth hardest working person in Hollywood.
Jeez
Louise,
Charlie,
man.
Spider-Man, yeah, all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos
Dude,
Walking,
gets around.
whenever that's coming
He's
out.
literally doing that. Oh, wait, what happened to that movie with him and Daisy
Yeah,
Ridley?
Chaos Walking.
Oh, that
Is
was
it still
just
going
like-
through?
It's got.
Or is it done?
I think they did the reshoot, so.
So what was going on?
I don't know.
Alright.
Can you imagine if they had left the scenes filmed way back then and they just aged like so different?
Yeah, it's like the Fantastic Four shits.
Yeah.
We got a new trailer for Doctor Sleep.
Haven't seen that trailer.
Ewan McGregor is
Oh.
literally a gem, and I'll see
Yeah.
anything with him in it.
So excited.
Amen to
Literally,
that.
They're probably like my third most anticipated movie of the year. Huge fan
Nice.
of the book and the director.
A trailer for Dark Waters. It's this drama about. It's from the people behind Spotlight. It's got Mark Ruffalo in it. It's about DuPont chemical or You watched the trailers
Yeah,
before.
a chemicals company chucking in chemicals in the water system.
I've heard of this in
town.
real life. Yeah, no, I've heard of this DuPont.
It looks really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it looks.
No, and Spotlight was really good. And if it's that kind of movie with
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, yeah, that'll probably be good.
Yeah, so that. Yeah, I just saw the trailer come out. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler.
I'm very excited for this
Is
movie.
this a Netflix movie?
No.
Or is it a
It's
real?
A24.
A24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's-
actually, no. Yeah, I've seen this trailer. When you said Adam Sandler, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
But no, now that
it looks
I've
really
actually,
good.
it seems like he's actually kind of taken this seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't it from the guys who did Good Time?
Yeah, good time.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Can they do for Adam Sandler what they did for Robert Pattinson?
Then
Alright,
Adam Sandler might be our new
arguably
Batman
he's doing
afterwards.
good stuff.
Yeah. And that wraps up the big small news.
Yeah.
Now we headed over to Jacob Medlin, guest himself.
yeah, so watching the BitTorrent of Ad Astra last night is where I came up with this topic. So I thought, obviously you have science fiction movies and visions of humanity's future. So I thought we could maybe discuss what we think are the best, and then like kind of the worst. Like what future would you like to live in, and then would you be
Yeah.
like, nah, B, I'm out. Like,
Real quick,
Hmm?
graphic.
grab it.
Ooh.
Topic of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wants to hit it off first?
I can start first.
Yeah, you start.
So I'll start. So I thought for best. I've always thought that Star Trek would literally be
Literally the first thing I've written down.
yeah the best to live in. Like admittedly, like
Yeah, yeah.
Kirk gets up to a bit of but they're at the frontier. Like that's the whole point. If you just live in like on Earth in the Federation, what a G time. Like you're big chillin'. Like
Yeah.
literally big chillin', and humanity has solved all its issues.
Yeah.
And it's like damn,
Yeah.
like
Gene Roddenberry's whole thing was like, it's supposed to be like a perfect future.
yeah.
So that's, you know, and then obviously there's still sort of Klingons and stuff fucking around, but yeah, no racism, no money, space
Except
travel.
against Klingons. I mean, yeah.
Well,
Forget those guys.
yeah, I
Like.
suppose. But yeah, no, I like it.
Fair cop. So yeah, Star Trek, easy. That's awesome. And then for worst, I was thinking, and this took a while because there's a lot of really bad ones. But for some reason, the idea of living in the Blade Runner universe just really disgusts me. Like it seems like just such a dirty
Seems like
80s hellscape
Yeah.
apocalypse inner city urban environment. Like, you know how they always would do New York like that in the late 70s,
Yeah.
early 80s? It was like just this hellscape. Now it's all gentrified and stuff, but
Yeah.
nah, it feels like that on steroids. And then like just it just seems like a really grubby place.
Yeah.
And the sun is just never shining there, like
It's always raining.
yeah, and just newspeak as well. Seems like a really weird language. It's a mixture of all different kinds of languages though.
Yeah.
And to think it's happening this year, 2019, LA is going to turn into that within the next few months. So, God damn, guys.
Prepare yourselves, yeah.
I mean, LA is already a disgusting city, but at least the sun shines there at the moment.
Yeah.
I could only really think of like bad ones to live in, like
Yeah.
Interstellar with the crops.
Yeah,
and
that's
all
pretty
that.
Yeah,
rough.
I
That's
got
pretty
that
rough.
down there.
Murph!
Well, actually, tell you what, I actually had Interstellar as one of the best.
You think?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
Star
at
Trek
the end,
and
the very
Star
end.
Trek.
Yeah.
And, yeah, well, continue, and then I'll
I said Elysium as a bad one.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
unless you're
Especially
up
for the
there.
majority of the
That's
population back down on Earth.
It's all
Mhm.
good.
It's pretty rough.
Nah, that's
But up there would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. Dread.
Ooh,
Yeah, just
that's a
Dread.
shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, actually, that is worse than Blade Runner. Dread takes the cake. You know.
I agree.
Oh. But Dredd is such a badass, like, kind of makes up for it, though.
Yeah.
If I could meet Dredd at least for, like, 5 minutes in my life and see him, like, just straight up murk some
Yeah.
guy, I'd be like, yeah, it was worth it.
I also had Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
That's pretty rough.
That's pretty much just out west, though, right now.
Yeah. Couple
Yeah.
miles that way.
Pretty much just
Just the
drive a
drought.
couple of miles that way, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah. Well, alright, I'll counter your Interstellar real quick. And I also sort of disagree slightly on the Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, you think it wouldn't be that
but
bad?
Interstellar, I feel like Earth is eventually going to just become a shithole regardless. Like Earth will eventually die, and I feel like the future that they carve out for us in Interstellar is a nice little place to be because they manage to like solve the problem of gravity. They get everyone off. Sure, I mean obviously the apocalyptic part of it is rough, and there's the dust, storms and stuff. but
Many billions
where
die.
we end up at the end is sort of the happy
Yeah,
place
so I
where
guess...
we've left and like we've communicated with ourselves from the future and we've proven that humans will exist far beyond, we've gotten a nice habitat and whatever. So So that's cool.
So yeah, it was actually an uplifting, hopeful ending.
Yeah, where it's like we're living in other planets and we have like there's humans in like complete other like solar systems and galaxies, it seems like, when they go through the wormhole. So that's cool. And Blade Runner is pretty rough, but I feel like there are rougher futures. To me, Terminator is the worst. I think that they kill everyone, they nuke the planet, and then the survivors they keep and they make them work on machines. And then they can literally travel back in time and murder kids to stop you from revolting. It's kind of like, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, that actually is
Pretty
pretty bad. Skynet, you take the cake on this one.
And I mean, like, a lot of these futures were like humans sort of made, where like we did to ourselves, but having computers turn against us and nuke everyone's sort of like, wow.
What a plan though! Just send the nukes flying, like, good work.
They weren't fucking around.
They weren't. They opened up. They were on strong from the. So they were like hit that note, like, boop, and then massive nuke. It's basically like, oh yeah,
It's rough stuff.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still would be.
Took that to guts, Skynet. You're hired.
But it raises a good point. There's not many good futures movies.
I can only think of two. I got Looper, and
Like
that just seems kind of shit. Like like the only cool thing is like they explain in the movie like telekinesis, but then it's just like everyone's just using that to flip quarters and all that stuff. And Equilibrium. Have you seen that movie?
Like Christian Bale.
That Christian Bale movie, where like all forms of feelings are like illegal, and the place just
Or
looks
what about,
bad.
I do remember
what about
those.
Minority Report?
They have those cool horror cars.
Yeah.
Those magnet cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose it'd be kind of a safe future.
Well, it's again that's the whole argument of the movie. Is you know what happens when you just think about doing something.
Yeah, and it seems like they get rid of the one guy who was kind of bad. But like the whole system sort of continues on. It's like RoboCop, where like he killed the one straight up evil executive on the board, but like Omnicorp still owns the police, and like they're still going ahead and making Delta City at the end of the movie.
True.
So it's like they got rid of the one straight up evil dude, but like
They're still
the system's
Yeah.
still
Well,
there.
at the end, the system was again that's the whole thing.
Reason on a smaller scale, like Upgrade, and people get implants.
Oh,
like
yeah.
guns
Oh, you don't
and
like
that.
Upgrade, do you?
I hate that movie. I'm sorry, I just don't like Upgrade.
That's a look back around.
Yeah. Anyways, but I was thinking about like Wall-E, like
Oh yeah.
pretty rough, but then again, not really. Like actually, no,
It's not rough enough. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like it's too easy.
It's sort of just like, well, everyone's on a cool ship, and then they do sort of fix Earth at the end. So it's like, well, it sort of comes back to neutral.
Yeah. Sort of. You heard a fan theory that the AI from The Incredibles actually started by and large to get rid of humans.
Right.
I heard that's one of the the Pixar
Yeah,
theories.
those
like,
Pixar
all the movies
theories
are
are
interconnected.
crazy, yeah.
That's one of the link.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like moon landing conspiracies. Like you read into it and it doesn't really stand up to much scrutiny. But when you're just reading it, it's like, no, this is mildly compelling.
And what about After Earth? Have you seen that movie where like
Is that Will Smith? Is
Yeah,
that-
Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
Yeah, man. Dude.
They just not even need to talk about that.
Yeah.
What about Ad Astra though? What do you think of that?
I think it's exactly what would happen. Like
It was very realistic.
without any spoilers for Harry.
I'm so
like,
excited. No,
with
I forgot about that for a second. I was about to say something.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah.
like when they travel into space, like
Yeah.
it just feels so boring. Like it's just so
Because it's
we've
so
done this.
realistic.
routine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's just like it's another one of those days.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Whereas other space movies have made it like, whoa, we're going into space.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The bit on the moon though was probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a bit on the moon. It was in the trailers as well, I think.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, fair cop, but there's.
That's right. I assume that it's a space movie.
Yeah.
The moon makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just fly past the moon. Fuck the moon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'll be in the background or some shit.
Yeah.
All right. Any other futures that we wanna?
No man, just Elon Musk would like to deny location,
Yeah,
basically.
basically, the future is bleak, regardless of how you spin it.
Rough. Oh man, no, I mean not that bleak, I suppose. Like those movies, the reason you make those movies is like a
Yeah.
warning, you know.
Yeah.
So
But then again, a lot more bleak futures than there are.
I mean,
bleak
again,
futures.
you look at something like nuclear war. That's a lot less prominent nowadays than it was even like 40 years ago. So it's not like you can't solve the issue. Also, the ozone layer is getting better, so there is hope for the future. By 2050, it'll be fully recovered actually, because we stopped using the propellant in deodorants that was harming the ozone layer. So,
Really?
yeah. So the future doesn't look too bleak. You can fix some problems.
Well, that's nice.
So,
good,
yeah.
good place to end it.
So a good place to end it.
All right. Well, speaking of disagreements, this is you.
What? Why disagreements?
Because people don't like this movie,
True. Yeah.
but we like this movie.
You need to see this graphics. Kin. It's a sci-fi crime drama that came out last year. I remember Dragon and I we saw, what was it?
The Darkest Minds.
And then
young adult.
And then we had uni in the afternoon, and we were like, nah, don't really want to go to uni. What's on? And literally only Kin was on.
Is this at the cinemas?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it in cinemas?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
It was literally just by accident. It was the only
It was
one.
at like an awkward time. It was like 1:25 or something like that.
But it was just like perfect for us. We were like, the poster looked cool.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw it, and we were like,
Damn.
wow, this movie's really, really good.
But other people didn't like this movie.
No.
Well, yeah, because
No, first, no
Just
one
sucks
saw
you haven't
it.
seen all of it, so
Yeah.
it cost $30 million to make. So
Really?
So Lionsgate
Wow.
put a bit of money into
A
it,
bit, yeah.
and it only made 10 mil worldwide.
I didn't realize it was released theatrically. I thought it was just a
Yeah.
Netflix movie, which is probably why I enjoyed it more. Is because if you're going
You
to
had
see this in
lower
a cinema,
expectations.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like it fits perfectly on Netflix because you sort of go into it with Netflix movie expectations.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had, but then I was like
Yeah.
thoroughly
But yeah,
impressed.
it's directed by Jonathan and Josh Baker, brothers.
Have they done anything
And
else?
they did this movie's like a adaptation of their short film that they did in 2014 called Bagman. So I think I don't really know what Bagman's about, but I think it's like, it'd just be like the start of this movie where he finds an alien gun and that's it. But then they made it into a feature-length film that was really, really good.
Well, the plot of the movie, for those of you who don't know,
Is how old is
Briefly.
it? 14-year-old
14.
kid Elijah he goes to like an abandoned sort of like big building
Yeah,
to
he
steal like
yeah.
copper wires and that to make more money.
Scrappy. I think.
Yeah, and he finds a big alien gun and takes it.
As you do, you just say, well,
Dude, if I found an alien strap, like I'm
I'd take it.
carrying that on me, like.
And then
stuff.
stuff happens with his dad and his brother and some gangs and his brother and
Discount Harrison Ford, Dennis Quaid.
and
Doing his
so
best Harrison Ford impression. This
and
week.
so Elijah and his brother, played by Jack Rayner from Transformers: Age of
And
Extinction,
Midsummer.
Midsummer.
This is
Um,
where I know him from. Great movie.
they go on a road trip and Zoe Kravitz joins them along the way and they're getting pursued by these two masked
Aliens, so
aliens.
want their gun back.
And James Franco.
and James Franco's chasing after them because Jack Rayner
Well,
owes
yeah, there's a
a
whole
lot of
like,
money.
Yeah.
spoilers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, but
He owes him money and James Franco wants to kill him and
James
just
Franco
sort of a-
plays another. It's basically his character from like Spring Breakers, but it's just like slightly toned back a
Spring
little bit.
Breakers.
yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. Like that, it's definitely like the last sort of 20 minutes that are like, oh my god, this movie just went from
Totally.
0 to 100.
Like Godzilla. Like the last bit of Godzilla where he just straight up murks
Yeah,
that guy,
but
like
this
breathing down
is
his
in a
throat.
different way, where
But
you
a different
don't
way.
expect it.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
so
you're not
it's-
waiting
it's-
for anything.
For,
but-
I
for a
know,
second, I
yeah.
thought they were just straight up like just a massive shootout with this alien
Like-
gun or something.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
like there's
extent.
yeah, there's that, but like it's
Yeah, alright, well, I'm not going to get you spoiled for me.
Yeah.
But,
But it's just like, it's got those sci-fi elements all throughout, and you're like, oh, this was a cool movie. And then the last 10 minutes, like, wow, oh my god. And then especially the last couple minutes.
yeah.
And all I'll say, seeing we don't want to spoil it, it's a shame it did bomb because it's really cool. It's sad because it could have been really cool.
See, that's where a lot of people didn't like. When I'm reading the reviews, which like people didn't like this movie, which I was gobsmacked. I watched it with my brother. Finished. I was like, that was actually really, really good. Check the reviews. 32% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. All the reviews seem to hate it. There's this one rant review that was like, this movie should never have been made. Just really shitting on the movie.
Wow.
And a lot of them talked about how it sets up for a sequel. But they were saying that, yeah, it's all sequel bait. And that was it. And at the end, I'm like, no, this movie was not set up for a sequel. Like, there shouldn't be a sequel. There won't be a sequel because it wasn't a success. But yeah, I felt like people just fundamentally didn't get this movie.
Yeah.
Or had high
I don't know what they
expectations on it.
expected.
Yeah, I was like, because me and Declan watched it last night again. we were really worried that, because we saw it last year, and obviously
Yeah.
after The Darkest Minds, we were like, Kin was amazing in compared to Darkest Minds, and last night we were like, oh, what if it's not going to hold
Yeah,
up?
this whole time we've been.
Yeah, we were
Is Kin
worried, but
actually
like,
that
no,
good?
it was investing. Like everyone was good at it. The special effects were really good.
Yeah.
You know, for 30 mil, and like there's like for me, it's a bit jumpy at times with like a family drama aspect and some sci-fi elements and like James Franco. But like all in all, in general,
But it
it
seemed
just
to blend together well,
it-
even
it-
though it was.
yeah.
I agree.
honestly, James Franco was like the only distracting bit of the movie, like in compared to everything
Yeah.
else. But even then, it still kind of worked together.
No, I just still think a lot of people are like, oh, the genre doesn't know what it is, but I think like it does.
It
Like
knows
it's going for this very specific, like gritty family.
So do you think,
crime
Harry,
drama.
in 20 years' time, in FTV classes during their cult film
Right.
I hope so.
study, they're going to be
Yeah.
looking at this film.
I
They're gonna be
hope
like,
so.
this is a cult film. Do you
I-
think it could achieve some
Just
cult
executed
status?
really
I
well.
don't think it has enough,
Yeah,
unless
traction.
we can start a
Yes.
fire.
Hopefully,
around
because
movie.
this movie is pretty
It
good.
deserves it. I mean, you can see why so many big names signed onto it. You can see why they put $30 million into it, and the fact that it didn't make any returns or got any sort of critical success. I just don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Like, I don't know what people were expecting going into
Yeah.
this movie.
I want to talk to someone who didn't like it and be like, I just want you to explain how,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just.
it's a good movie.
It's paced well, and the relationships well, and it's acted well, and it has great
Special
moments, and
effects
it goes for it. Takes big swings.
It's
it doesn't hold
it's
back.
clearly just Disney paying off film critics. It's got to be that. This is the real life evidence. Like clearly.
Another big thing Dragon I picked up when we watched it again last night was it's a really short movie. It goes really quick.
I know. It,
How
honestly,
long?
like
That's pretty rare nowadays. Normally they're really bloated, but
Yeah.
so what? Like, are we talking?
Yeah.
We're talking
This-
less than 100 minutes.
Yeah, this
It
just
was-
gets
yeah,
straight to the
it's,
point.
yeah,
It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah, 99
Dude.
minutes or something like that. Yeah,
but it never like it has a. Great
keeps going,
pace.
too.
It
It
goes.
just- yeah.
It goes so many different places. It changed what the movie is changes so many times, and so it just
Yeah.
keeps you interested.
Yeah, such a good movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you. I'm happy that I can finally.
Have I
really-
redeemed myself from Spectral?
Yes. I'm happy. I'm happy that I like.
That looked cathartic. Like that looked real cathartic.
Oh no! Because I was going into it being like, well, I think it's because of the
Another
low
sh-
expectations.
Another shitty Declan Netflix.
No, but thank God, you know.
Yeah.
Thank God I went into it with those low expectations because it blew me
Well, that's
away.
exactly what we went. We were like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
Why not? Yeah, and then
So yeah, you need to see Kin.
Kid.
Yes, that wraps
Neat.
up episode 9.
What a great episode. Hell yeah.
The end of the Movies of the Future saga. We've come to the end now.
This is it. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on audio platforms if you're watching video. If you're on audio, check out the video because I'm sure these guys, whoever's editing, will put in a lot of effort. There'll be some
Yeah.
fun gags and stuff like that. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to go skydiving, so we want to get as many subscribers as possible so that we can convince them that it's worth it. So do that. That'd be nice. Head over to movies_of_the_future. Is it? Yeah, I'm gonna go for that one. And to get all your latest movie news and reviews, maybe some cool new content that's coming out. Who knows? Exciting. And if you like
Tease
this,
me like that.
head over to theslopshack.com to check out our other podcasts, including our new shows. We have a cooking show, and we also have a reaction show. So check those out.
okay.
And yeah, thanks.
Should we do a reaction?
No worries. Awesome. Pleasure to be here.
We should, yeah, we'll do something. We've got another episode, special /episode coming out sooner. We'll try and be more on top of it. But yeah.
Thank you,
Me.
Jacob.
Yeah, thanks.
No,
Jacob.
awesome.
Yeah.
All of our
It's fun to
guests
be
have,
here.
Yeah.
have beards.
That's so true.
Beards are in, man. Beards are in.
Heath, they're in Ernest.
Yeah, it's just something about I don't know.
Jaden's got his little.
They've done studies and they found that people with beards are more. People think they're more trustworthy. As in, they've like, who of these two men,
But-
who do you find more trustworthy? And they're like, the guy with the beard,
But
like
isn't
90% of the
the
time.
cliched like evil like
Yeah,
no, but I'm
like-
talking. I'm not
like
talking. I'm
mustache
not
twirling.
talking a little goatee. I'm talking like a
Right.
full,
like a full beard.
Okay.
beard, and sometimes it's like
I
down to
think
here,
that's
or
'cause
like, it's
it's-
like a big one. You know?
Genetically, it's like you're older, you're more mature, or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
some
something
more
like that.
life experience.
Yeah.
Or just
well,
humans are just meant to have beards because you're not really shaving in the wild, are you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind
You're
of-
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Shaving is a particularly 20th century phenomenon. So there you go.
Yeah, that's
It's like
so
it
true.
really became popular then. So
All right. Well, speaking of Shit, I don't know. I got nothing.
Weird US facial hair trends that spread all over the world.
Yeah, Jared Butler has facial hair sometimes. Well, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'll drink to that. Oh
I
yeah.
don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck.
That's the outro. There's a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there.
You'll see.